Attleboro farmers, gardeners, and those concerned with our food source came to the Attleboro Public Library to learn more about an increasingly contentious issue. Gardener Marge Immonen gave a presentation about the possible health risks associated with GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, and other chemicals used in large-scale agriculture. We spoke with Mrs. Immonen after the presentation to learn more about the event.
The gardening experience has kind of connected me with how life works, I guess is a way to say it. And as a result of my gardening, I have been out learning things. I joined an organization called NOFA, which sent me down the path of agricultural issues of our day, which include genetic modification is the very big one, and the overall industrialization of the food supply is what I'm most concerned about. It shows itself in a lot of different ways, one of which is the highly processed food that's shoved at us and advertised at us, and the things that go on behind the scenes, the chemicals that are sprayed on them, the companies that are making all the money and trying to convince us that they're really on our side and they're not, is something that people don't know about, and it's very difficult to get this information through traditional media. There's one database, I think, on the handout, GMO Compass, and that you can actually type in a product and it'll tell you in what countries it's approved, where it's grown. It's relatively up to date. Right now, the biggies are soy, corn, cotton, canola, sugar beets, and alfalfa, and all of those have been Roundup Ready modified, and the cotton and the corn also BT. And the percent number indicates the percentage of land that's growing soy that is Roundup Ready soy in the United States. So as you can see, most of what's grown here is in fact genetically modified of those crops. So I did a presentation because I'm hoping that this gets people activated, because the only thing that will fix our food system so that it's healthful, nutritious, accessible, affordable is us, as the customers, telling the selling people what we want. And believe me, they will find a way to produce the products if we ask for it. And so I need to motivate people to get out of our stupor on this thing. It's easy to go to a grocery store and grab a quick meal. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily the most helpful thing you can do. Genetic modification, I know people are afraid of it, and the food itself has been modified in a way that nobody's real sure what effects it might be having. And this is one of the problems. You don't fall over dead from eating this within a matter of seconds. It's a long-term effect. And besides the genetically modified food product, it's sprayed heavily. In the 80s and 90s, this technology was being developed primarily by Monsanto. And how interesting that the very first one they put out there was the Roundup Ready corn and soy. How clever, because they could sell more Roundup. This worked out well for them. Plus they now own this technology. Shop better, buy local food. Local food grown in New England is generally very safe. Besides, you can ask the farmer what he puts on that crop. And if he's accountable to you, you are the customer, he wants you as a customer, he's going to do, and so you have total control in that situation. If you buy a box of cereal on a shelf in a supermarket that's been through 47 countries and thousands of hands, you can't talk to anybody about that product. Know your labels. Buy organic foods, buy foods that are certified non-GMO because they've never been subjected to the chemicals and they are not genetically modified. And buy local is the way I've gone with this. I very rarely even go into a supermarket nowadays. It's sort of like foreign territory. It's spooky.